So this is day 2 for Nacho for adding the remote collar into his life. Just did another couple of 10-minute sessions yesterday with him on the e-collar. Just tap good, and like I said initially, the e-collar is going to bring confusion, and your job is to make that clarity as quickly as possible, and you do that through repetitions, through negative to positive reinforcement. In other words, you teach the dog how to get rid of this little tapping that is on their neck, and you build a link and association. So the collar primarily should be activating your dog. So whenever the dog feels the collar, it should make them go, "Yes, Dad," rather than, "Oh, right, I should stop doing what I'm doing." That should be primarily, that's how I teach, the collar. Someone had asked, why am I using stimulation and not vibration? Well, stimulation just has a much better range, so vibration has a much lower range. So what I mean by that is if you are teaching vibration to the dog and you've maybe got a pager collar, so it's only vibration, then you can condition the dog the same way, tap, treat, tap, treat, tap, treat. And you could do that a bazillion times. But being real, if your dog's got high prey drive, or just not even that, just anything where the dog goes, "I want to go over and say hi to that dog," or "I want to do more than what you want me to do," or higher value than that treat or whatever, then vibration is not powerful enough to stop the dog and make them come back to you. I call that switching from asking to telling. Many of you call me because you are able to ask your dog to do things and they're obedient and they listen and they come. "Nacho, come." Yes, good boy. I'll show you this. Good job, buddy. Well done. You're able to ask your dog and you say, out with distraction, your dog's good. And that's the foundation, and that should be there. But when you switch to telling them and go, "Don't run over to that dog," or "Don't, chase that sheep," or whatever it is, when you switch to saying, "I'm not asking you, I'm telling you," the dog goes and says, "No thanks, I'll do what I want." So in other words, your command is negotiable, and that's because you haven't had the ability to switch from asking to telling. And that's what's great about stimulation on the e-collar. Most of the time you're asking, but you have the ability to tell when the dog wants to do what it wants to do. So in a way, teaching vibration, teaching vibration is not teaching stimulation. So even if you're like, "Well, I'll use vibration on the collar, and then if the dog's naughty, I use stimulation," that is the wrong way to do it. I describe it as the e-collar as the stimulation is Spanish, and I want to teach my dog Spanish, so that if I need to shout on them in Spanish when they're distracted, then they understand the language. And teaching something different, like right now, beep or tone or vibration, doesn't make them understand Spanish. So when I'm teaching just low-level stimulation, conditioning, or teaching the collar so they understand the language, so that when the dog does go, "I want to decide to go and do something else," when you then provide higher stimulation, and the reason you're providing high stimulation is because the dog is higher, the dog's more adrenalized. Let me just keep it real. Then the dog understands how to escape or get rid of that sensation, which is coming back to you. And then ultimately you can switch it in the future to what we call avoidance, which is where your collar, you're not relying on the collar is really your backup. So you'll be just verbally communicating with your dog, and you got your e-collar as your backup when the dog decides to go, "Yeah, kinda, but I'm not a robot, and I decide I really want to go and roll in that fox poo," or whatever. So hope that makes sense. Done it thousands and thousands of times, very successful. So and it makes a very happy, very content dog, and a very happy, content human. And that's true balance, right? So I'm just going to switch hands here so that I can have my e-collar in one hand. Focus. There we go. Had to just put it in my mouth to switch hands. Okay, so we've got Nacho here, and again, Nacho has recall. So what the e-collar is doing is just cementing everything. So what you do is you tap the e-collar first. So here I can give him a tap. There, look. Needs a wee bit of help. You felt that tap? Yeah, good job. I didn't even call yet. Now that does not mean he knows it. But the collar's just getting his attention. The collar's the attention grabber. Now just as you saw there, the collar right now is on a 6. And to be honest, the number itself doesn't actually matter. You're going on the dog's reaction. That could also be a 26 or 76. You know, it's going on the dog's reaction. And you're just looking for that little attention grabber and then linking a language to it. So I'm going to tap again and find a level. First few times I'm just starting on like a 1 and I work my way up till I see a reaction there. Nacho, come. Yes. Good job, buddy. Go on. Now right there when he comes in, and you can choose to, good job. You could choose to food that, you could choose to throw a toy, you could, any sort of affection. Some dogs prefer just a physical affection. You know, just you're making a fuss of them. Just don't make it complicated. One thing I would say is whenever you are getting the attention of the dog with the collar, make sure when you're tapping it, you're turning him facing the dog. So if I'm walking along here and then my dog's here, I would turn and face the dog first, then apply the stimulation so that I can see a reaction to the dog. Switch hands again. What you're gauging is the reaction of the dog, you know, and if your dog's behind you, then you can't see the dog, then you don't know how they're reacting. Not only that, when you apply the stimulation, the dog's going to look, and the more repetitions it's going to look for you, of course. It's going to go, right, there's Dad pulling on that invisible lead, where is he? So when he does look, you want to be able to be providing as much information to the dog as possible with stuff he already knows, which would be using body language, using verbal communication, you know, Nacho, come, good boy, yeah, you know, and making a fuss there. And so all that is linked with the new thing that you're laying on top, which is the stimulation, you know. Same, I would do the same if I was doing teaching a whistle as well. I would do the same, but the whistle again can't guarantee. The whistle is only audio. Nacho, come. Yes. Good job. So sorry, I should have. There you go. So the e-collar comes first. This is also how you can assess the dog. So when you tap the dog and you're seeing the dog react and move towards you before you've even opened your mouth, then that's what it means to the dog. The dogs don't lie. So find out, good, that's perfect. But I'm going to tell you when I tap the button, okay? Right there. Tap. Look. Yeah, good job. So he's definitely got a wee way to go, but he's as long as the dog is being successful, happy, you're feeling successful on your way, you're pairing a good communication, then you're doing the right thing. And very, very quickly you'll have the language that you're looking for from the dog. And just wanted to show you Nacho's journey. There'll be another few days of this, obviously, of me showing you. But really, I generally say 2 weeks or so, you should have a really good foundation there. 100 repetitions, the dog should understand. Understand the remote collar, the sensation. 500 repetitions, be really good at it. 1,000 repetitions, amazing. And then you're adding in your distance, duration, distraction. So let's find a level. So I'm going to start low, work up, find a level that he reacts to right there. Okay. Nacho, come! Yes! Good job! Yeah! Well done. Easy as that, okay? So there again, he's been pretty consistent on this 6 right now. I'm liking his reaction. Find again. The collar is not there. See a wee shake off. Doesn't know what to do. So this is really good to show you. Generally as well, what I would have a lot of clients initially is this way. Add a long line, because a long line is going to give you the dog direction to the sensation. So what you're teaching the dog is the way that pressure goes away is by moving towards you. Some dogs will naturally try and get rid of that little pressure by itching or rolling around in the grass or just sitting down because they're a wee bit confused. That's why you're trying to give them as much information associated with it. So lots of reps here and just watch his progress over the next wee while. Well done, Nacho.